The almost entirely sparse and dull content of Curse of Osiris for Destiny 2 makes it one of the most disappointing Destiny additions to date.
The DLC that they put in front of us here is so bad that I struggle to find the will to log in a day after it was released. This product is just more of the same blandness that Destiny 2 was, only cranked up to be even more grindy, more repetitive, and more banal than ever before.
If you simply ran out of things to do in vanilla Destiny 2, its first DLC expansion, Curse of Osiris, adds a few new activities for you to take on. But aside from the short but fun raid lair, almost all the new stuff in Curse of Osiris, the story missions, strikes, crucible maps, adventures, and weapons, don't add anything substantial or interesting to Destiny 2 to make it worth revisiting.
The Curse of Osiris' story is a vapid and shallow introduction to the deeper lore of Destiny.
Okay, now it's my turn. When I said this video was going to be a slaughter, I wasn't lying. Before we begin, I want to address a few things. If you don't care and you want to skip to the actual WWE takedown of this shit stain, skip here. Okay, so in regards to my last Destiny video about the Red War, many people pointed out some inconsistencies with my critiques when it comes to the lore specifically. While some arguments were completely fair, like Gaul's armor being a gift from Callus, who actually loved lavish designs, it made a lot of sense to me. Until I actually started doing my research, and I couldn't find anywhere that specifically stated that Callus gave Gaul his armor. Honestly, what is probably the case is that I've just missed it. But there lies the biggest problem with using Destiny lore when critiquing Destiny's own story. There's so fucking much of it that it's so easy to miss even the smallest detail. Now, that's not to say that all arguments were hard to verify. Many people said that the rogue member of the Nine assisted the Red Legion by taking down the last city's defenses. This is in fact true, as mentioned in the last entry of the Dust lore book called The Witch. The biggest issue is, well, the lore book came out during Joker's Wild, a bit over a year after the Red War was released, which seems more like a quick fix to the initial invasion that didn't make a lick of sense in the first place. In this same lore book, it mentions how this member of the Nine was chastised for this because the Almighty was pointed at the sun, which is something they didn't account for. For those who don't know, the Almighty depend on the existence of the solar system to survive, and supposedly planned this attack because this member of the Nine wanted to see if other races could take the light. But that brought up a question to me. What stops the Nine from destroying the Almighty? If they can take down the last city's defenses, why can't they take down this giant laser? This is a genuine question that I haven't seen a single other person bring up or address, like, ever. This makes it really fucking hard to research stuff for these videos, since trying to find stuff about the lore can be real difficult at times. But despite this, I'm still going to do my best to correct my mistakes and integrate the lore into my videos. But this also comes at a caveat. I will not be addressing lore released after the campaign is released. The majority of the time, a lot of these lore entries are created just so that they can fix the issues that they didn't think of when the story was created. So I don't call it fair game, and I'm not going to be including any lore past that initial campaign's release. So anyone from here on out who brings up an issue like that in the comments, I'm just not going to address because I've already addressed it here. Now, of course, I have gotten stuff reasonably wrong. When I was talking about Lightbearers who kill other Guardians, I incorrectly added Nezarec, who never actually wielded the light. That was a point I messed up on. Now, the contention of Aya was one that I thought was really interesting, and one that I thought a lot of people misinterpreted. While this could be me just miscommunicating my message, it wasn't supposed to be a huge slight against Bungie. It was supposed to point out that Bungie had the perfect blueprint to make a gameplay-focused endgame area with a ton of hazards, and to plant the seeds for the current doubt in the Traveler that is incredibly prevalent in the game's story as of now. While also pointing out that despite having this perfect blueprint, Bungie did nothing with it. So I hope that clarifies that point. Another point of contention amongst some, ironically enough, smaller ones was my nitpicking of the campaign. While nitpicking can be annoying to some, I want to ask a simple question. When you consume a piece of media and you notice a small detail that you actually like, do you mention it? Do you bring it up? Does it improve a piece of content even in the smallest amount? If you answered yes, that is the exact reason I include nitpicks. While small details can make a great piece of content even better, a small flaw can make a piece of content even worse. Does it change a lot? No, not really. Me bringing up Nezarec was an overall tiny point in a much larger video with even harder hitting points, but it does make the video, even if only a tiny bit worse. And if you don't care about the nitpicks I make, that's fine. But if I notice a tiny problem, I'm going to mention it. And if someone wants to nitpick my videos, I have no problem with it. If anything, it's room for me to improve, even a little, and I'll take that. It's also kind of funny. So those are just some of the things I wanted to address for this video, and it definitely wasn't written to extend the length of the video out. Once again, I want to thank everyone for the immense support on my Red War video. It meant a whole lot, and the thing that I want to point out the most is the people who left constructive criticism on that video. It genuinely helped me a lot, and I learned quite a bit from that video. Thank you all for the critiques, and let's get on to the video. Hello and welcome to part 2 of a critique of Destiny 2. Last time we covered the Red War and bashed it for its atrocious gameplay, writing, and story consistency. Just like me, people weren't happy with the state of Destiny 2 was in at launch, mainly for the reasons outside of the campaign, but people were leaving the game at an alarming rate, so Bungie needed to fix the game quickly. Curse of Osiris was released 3 months after the release of Destiny 2 as a very expensive band-aid on a giant sinking ship. While the lack of content and removing base game content to add to the DLC was a huge point of critique, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to talk about the story, or lack thereof. In total, the story is a little bit under 2 fucking hours long. Now, I'm not one to really care about the length and the cost of the story. I play games like Abzu, Get to the Orange Door, and Stray, but at least these games have compelling enough gameplay and some other quality attached to them to deliver on that price point. But Curse of Osiris was a $20 release. Now granted, there was other content added to the DLC besides the story, like mid-as-fuck strikes, a mid-as-fuck patrol area, a mid-as-fuck raid, and everything else mid-as-fuck in between. But I'm not here to focus on all that stuff. Just the campaign. Alright, yeah, so let's get on with it. We open on a cutscene where Ikora from the Red War tells us that there are new enemies and that all the rules are gone because the Traveler has awoken.
The rules are gone. All we know is we must become more than what we were.
How does the Traveler awakening remove all the rules? What rules is the Traveler removing? You see, Bungie loves this kind of dialogue, where characters will say something that sounds cool and foreboding, when in reality, if you actually listen to what they're saying nothing at all, and none of it makes any sense. Next, we get a cutscene of some Guardians in a place that wasn't in Destiny 2 at the time, with characters using weapons and armor that also weren't in Destiny 2 at the time. Eventually, Osiris shows up and everything freezes in time. He does something on his little relic, which opens a portal that shocks Osiris, and that the Vex that were once frozen in place start moving and attacking Osiris and his ghost named Sagira. There's a cool little fight scene, and apparently the Vex thing can see Sagira's light, I guess. So Osiris throws her through a portal and she appears on Mercury. Okay, so quick question. If your ghost can disappear into your skull or whatever, like in your armor, why doesn't Sagira just do that? Can the Vex thing still see her light? Fuck, I don't get it. And by the way, I did look this up. I did try and see if there was any explanation for where the ghosts go, and there's no clear answer. Anyway, we're greeted to another cutscene where we talk to Ikora about the return of Osiris. We get some light exposition about the guy. It's mostly tastefully done, and personally, I kind of like it.
Normally, I'd ignore their conspiracy theories. But one of my hidden brought me this.
A dead ghost?
She's not dead. Her name is Sagira. I've known her a very long time. And her guardian, Osiris.
The Osiris? The most powerful guardian ever. The hero of 6 fronts. The Zavala before Zavala?
Zavala wouldn't like to hear you call him that. Most guardians won't even speak Osiris's name. He was the only Vanguard commander ever exiled from the city. And the man who taught me what it means to be a warlock.
And now we head to Mercury to meet the followers of Osiris. More exposition ensues, and we find out that the Vex are going wild on Mercury and that we need to open the door into a place called the Infinite Forest. After doing some portal jumping and being talked at by Brother Vance, a follower of Osiris who is played as a caricature instead of the incredibly dedicated man he is in Destiny 1 and in the lore.
I'm so pleased Osiris has brought you to me, his most faithful servant.
So after doing some... we try and fail to enter the Vex portal. We have to evacuate into a giant tower called the Lighthouse due to a giant invasion by the Vex. After talking to Brother Vance, I can quickly realize that he treats Osiris as some kind of god, which is, I guess, the comedy of the game now.
I'm finally going to meet Osiris. I still can't believe you let Osiris return to the Infinite Forest without introducing me. I've studied all of Osiris's writings and written 5 works exploring his wisdom. Remind me again, how many Osiris books you've written?
But Osiris was never seen as a god. He was seen as a man who wanted to look at the line between light and dark, see how he can use the darkness to fight back, fighting fire with fire, that sort of thing. He was one of the first to cast sympathy on the fallen instead of seeing them as a threat that needed to be eradicated. His thoughts and ideologies were considered heresy, which eventually created a cult following around him. And unfortunately, for this heresy, Osiris was exiled, so his people who believed in his teachings followed him. Osiris didn't like his followers because they were all crazy fanatics. He didn't like them because he didn't like being followed in the first place. So Brother Vance tells us that we need to get Osiris's ghost in a compound on Earth. After one fucking mission, we're already leaving the planet to go to an area from the base game. Fucking great. I mean, why can't this place just be on Mercury? Like, why can't it be like an underground area and let us explore, do some shit, instead of bringing us back to old areas? It doesn't help that this part of the EDZ is technically from the base game and isn't even a new chunk of the EDZ like the Plague Lands in Destiny 1, which was an extension onto the Cosmodrome with some new style and aesthetic while maintaining the parts that still made it the Cosmodrome. Instead of doing anything cool or interesting either, we just kill a bunch of enemies through the same patrol space that you've already explored and onto a radio tower that you previously couldn't access. It's hard to call this area new because it's a single tiny fucking area with a tiny little radio tower with one room that holds Osiris's ghost Sagira, which by the way, when you scan Sagira, it causes our ghost and Sagira to switch bodies. So now I have to listen to her for the rest of the campaign. I guess Nolan North wanted a break from doing 50% of the dialogue all the fucking time.
Did you actually just put me in a strange machine you've never seen before? Who does that?
So after fucking stealing my ghost body, or borrowing it, we head to Mercury and jump into this portal thing to enter the Infinite Forest. This part of the DLC is genuinely the coolest part. Upon first entering the Infinite Forest, you wander through this pitch black world with all these weird Vex structures fading from out of the darkness, only to appear before you in this winding trail to a glowing cube far above you. It's really interesting. Eventually, we talk to reflections of Osiris that he created somehow. It's not that important. Anyway, we find out that Sagira being in the Infinite Forest puts everything at risk, which makes sense because if Sagira dies, Osiris has 0 chance of ever coming back from the dead if he is ever killed. But then she mentions that she's the only one who can save Osiris? But why? As long as Osiris's ghost still exists, he can eventually be brought back. Osiris is right. Get Sagira out of there. Like, get this fucking bitch out of here. So now we get full access to the Infinite Forest, an area that is kind of procedurally generated, which is pretty cool for a game of this graphical fidelity. Only problem is that this area is really bland and it feels like running through the same 4 area archetypes over and over again. The gameplay, as per usual, is really fucking boring. It's nothing new there. It's not even using what was good in the fucking Red War. You know, the stuff that I pointed out that was actually really good. No environmental hazards except for some incredibly easy jumping puzzles. No vehicles, no fun gimmicks, no fun encounters, nothing. Just stand there and fucking shoot enemies the whole time. Okay, here we go, something cool again. We get to see what Mercury looks like perfected by the Traveler and untainted by the Vex. It's honestly beautiful. It gives me this sort of African savanna vibe, which I personally love. I wish we would get to see more of this place, and I wish it wasn't the Infinite Forest, but instead this was the Infinite Forest. I would much rather prefer that. We're told that the Vex landed here and it was corrupted by a big bad Vex named Panoptes. Wow, great, another fucking big bad instead of focusing on the most interesting Destiny character ever. So this is what Osiris was scared of. Another big bad that will die soon anyways. Okay, so I kill some more robo bitches and get to witness the final form of what the Vex want to do, which honestly is really cool and kind of beautiful in a really fucked up way.
Neither light nor darkness exists anymore. The sun's warmth is gone. All life lost.
The big bad appears and I leave so I can plan how to take him down. No, I actually won't. Instead, I'll just like get off this game and stop playing it and never interacted with Once again, after only spending one mission on Mercury, we're on Io, a planet from the Red War campaign. Is this a fucking joke? Like, does Bungie hate their consumer? What's even better is this is just another strike that you're playing in this campaign. And even better, this strike is from the base game. Like, come the fuck on, Bungie. Like, this is just sad. Now, I will admit, it's not a bad strike, but God, this is just so lazy. All right, so we get some coordinates to a map by destroying a few cubes, and we head back to Mercury. So now we're back on Mercury where we get to participate in another fucking strike. Wow, Bungie, back-to-back strikes. This is a new low for you fucking assholes. After finding where the coordinates lead, they bring me to a big Vex that is quickly body slammed by another Cabal, which we now fight. It's easy, and he's dead in no time, and after gaining access to the map the Cabal were holding, I find out that we need to head to another fucking base game area to unlock where Panoptes is through another map. God fucking damn it. I feel bad for any poor dipshit who paid full price for this fucking terrible DLC. At least this mission is unique. Whatever, it's pretty fucking trash. I want to do it. I don't want to fucking do it. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to. Okay, so after beating yet another fucking strike, we figure out that we need to use the Infinite Forest to go back in time to the creation of Panoptes so that we can beat him when he's at his primal form when he's weak. Which is fucking ridiculous that Osiris never thought of this. The smartest warlock ever, who's run millions of simulations to find a way to beat the Vex and beat Panoptes, never thought to go back in time to before he was created so that he could kill him when he's born. Who the fuck wrote this? So we need to go back in time and do another strike. You gotta do another one, guys. Anyway, we do the strike and kill the Vex dude, and finally, fucking finally, we get to fight Panoptes. When the mission ends, we get thrown out of the Infinite Forest by Panoptes, and for some reason, we can't enter back in. It's the Vex asshole doing something or some shit. I don't know. Also, Sagira no longer has control over my ghost. Again, it's just some Vex shit. I don't really question it at this point. Anyway, seeing the current trend, you would probably think that we would do another strike on, like, Titan or something. Well, no, we don't. We go to Ikora, and she uses her super abilities, and she opens up the gate. Okay. We travel to the Infinite Forest for one last time, and my ghost sees the Infinite Forest for the first time. Going through this place, he makes a note of how cool the place looks, saying that we should go back when everything isn't in danger of being fucking destroyed.
The Infinite Forest. It's huge. I never thought that. When the fate of the world's not at stake, can we come back?
Oh man, my ghost is lucky I don't fucking crush him in my hand for saying shit like that. I do not want to be here again. So you know the drill by now. I run through some more uninspired level design, fighting enemies so retarded they didn't figure out where I am until I kill them. So to raise the already incredibly low stakes, my ghost tells me that we only have one shot at killing Panoptes.
We're only going to get one chance at this. If we lose Panoptes here, we won't be able to find it again.
Which isn't explained because it would require effort, and it also doesn't matter because I don't care anyway. Now the final boss fight with Panoptes begins, and while you could call it cinematic, it's not difficult or engaging or complicated in any way. You're just walking around like a child through the whole fight. After killing some enemies, you jump through a couple portals and almost get deleted by the Infinite Forest before Osiris and his clones jump in and hold back Panoptes. so we can kill more enemies to eventually grab an arc charge to bank it and deal a little bit of damage, and then we get to shoot them and deal a bit more damage. You fought strike bosses that are more complicated and more fun than this. The biggest issue with this fight is that for the majority of the time, the only threat is the enemies that Panoptes puts down before you fight him. And they're not new enemies with an interesting mechanic. No, they're the exact same enemies from the Red War campaign. It's almost like Bungie had this really cool boss design that was probably supposed to be used for that scrap Destiny 1 Vex DLC, and instead it's dropped here because they had no idea of how to actually design a boss to fight around this character design. So instead of something fun, we're killing normal enemies and banking arc charges. So after killing the Robo Bitch, we're done. Campaign is over. There's a decent dialogue scene between Osiris and Ikora, who is actually a student of Osiris. But Ikora doesn't seem to care. I mean, she's almost bored to see him again. Like, this is the man who taught her everything she knows about being a warlock. I mean, hell, she said as much at the start of the fucking campaign. No hugs, no sign of affection beyond, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Nope, nothing. He leaves to fight the Vex some more because you can't teach an old dog new tricks or keep them away from old habits. So he fucks off and goes back into the portal to fight them, and the campaign ends for real now. So that's it. Nearly 2 hours of wasted fucking time to tell a nothing story that leaves us basically knowing nothing about Osiris when the DLC has his fucking name on it. Bungie continues the trend of not giving a fuck about the story they're telling and instead just want to show us something cool and tell you it's cool without telling us why we should care about it at all. For people who understand the lore, Osiris is one of the coolest guardians to ever exist. The man is a fucking genius, and in the current state of the story with Lightfall coming up, he clearly understands the fucked situation we're all in a lot more than anyone else does. Thank God Bungie's writing team picked up the fucking mess of that was Curse of Osiris and since has done interesting stuff with his character. Because if they would have left him to the wayside, he would have been remembered by the majority of the Destiny 2 fandom as a paranoid old fart chasing the Vex like a dog chasing its tail. While the technology used for the Infinite Forest is pretty cool, it's never used for anything beyond being a boring placeholder for boring enemies. In fact, that's the best way to describe this entire campaign. Boring. The last 10 minutes of this video are me just rambling, so if you don't want to hear me ramble and talk about updates in the future, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Hey everyone, so this is just gonna kind of be the time where I'm just gonna like ramble for a bit because it's like 2 in the morning and it's like -20, and my last version of this outro that I did kind of fucking sucks. If you hear like that sound, it's because I'm wearing a coat, because you know it's really fucking cold. But my last cut that I did of this kind of fucking sucked, so I thought I would redo it. I have a list of things that I want to mention here. So first is like, I'm really happy with the reception and the support of my last video that I made, the video on the Red War. For some perspective, before I made that video, my channel was sitting at around a total of 1,000 views and about like 55 subscribers. And as of now, I'm sitting at like, I think like 1.08 thousand subs, and I'm sitting at around like 27 or 28,000 views across my entire channel. Like over the course of like a month, my channel just like fucking exploded, man. Like it was crazy the amount of support I got on the video, the amount of comments that appeared, like holy shit. It was really just wild to me, and it was something that I never thought would happen. And I mean, like, when I first made the video, I thought I was gonna get like a couple hundred views. That's what I was expecting. But then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And again, I went from a channel with like 55 subs to I'm now monetized on YouTube. I can now make money. I can now like, you know, do like this has garnered a lot more attention from me now. And hopefully I'm gonna start uploading more consistently now that you know, I have an incentive to upload again, to be creative and to think of stuff to talk about. But the amount of support has been insane. Like when I say I've read every single comment, like I'm not kidding. I want to say like a couple weeks ago, my friends and I were driving to the theater to go see Babylon, and like while I was in the car, I got like a ton of new comments. So I was just like reading all of them in the car as I'm heading over there. So you know, it's been a super awesome experience for me, and you know, I really thank everyone for watching the video and commenting, positive or negative. I loved reading it. I loved the discussions that some of us had. if some people were a bit fucking stupid. But, you know, I think that a lot of it, the majority of it, was really, really good, and I'm really happy about that. I'm happy that people were civil. But on top of that, I just wanted to talk about some of the new projects that I want to work on. Honestly, I don't think we're going to see a Destiny video for a little while. I'm already working on a Warmind video, and that video I don't think is going to be as serious as this video or my Red War video, because, I mean, I don't really care about Warmind all that much, but I still want to talk about it, and so I think I'm going to take a more comedic and laid-back approach to talking about the story. But my next video isn't going to be a Destiny video. In fact, it's going to be about a game that, if people have been around since the beginning, will know that I'm a fan of the Megami Tensei series. And so I plan on talking about a little-known game called Persona 3. My Persona 3 is a fucking horrible game, but we'll get to that when it comes out. When is that going to come out? I honestly have no idea. I have written down on my whiteboard here like March 30th, but I don't think it's going to come out March 30th. I think you can expect it more in like April or May. I think that's when you can plan the video on coming out, because I want to spend a lot of time on this. Like, I want this to be like a Red War type project again. So whether I'll release stuff in between, I have no idea. I might just like fully work on this and fully just get engrossed in it. I have no fucking idea. I'm just playing this by day. But after I release this video, I think until about March, maybe like midway through March, is I'm just going to take like a complete break. I'm not going to work on any videos really, not like to an extreme amount, because for one thing, Lightfall is coming out soon. I want to play fucking Lightfall, and I need to, like, school is still an important thing in my life, and it's something that I still need to focus on. So of course, you know, I need to focus on that as well as focus on my channel. And something I really wanted to talk about, because I was kind of noticing this a little bit from the comments. This isn't a Destiny channel. It's never going to be a Destiny channel. The main focus will not be on Destiny. The main focus will be on games that I want to talk about. I'm happy that a lot of people are here for my Destiny content, but I don't want people to get the wrong idea that my only content is going to be Destiny based. So that's just, you know, that's just something that I really wanted to address, just because I was seeing a few comments about that. But in terms of, like, you know, future videos besides like the Persona one and of course other Destiny videos, there are a few games I want to talk about in particular. Like, I made a video on Halo Mobile. It was just some like shit game made for like a Microsoft phone. Well, there was a sequel to it, and I'm planning on making a video on that soon. A video about Overwatch is still on the table, although Overwatch is becoming more and more irrelevant by the day. And so, you know, the idea of making an Overwatch video is kind of like falling into the wayside a lot more, but there is still a chance that I could release a video about it. For any updates or anything like that, follow me on Twitter. I made my Twitter a little while ago. It's at NanokYT. It's going to be linked in the description as well. It's just like a Twitter where I like a few things. It's basically just like a social media Twitter. It's like a YouTube Twitter. You'll find updates on videos and stuff like that there for the time being. So, you know, if I might post some stuff about this video in the coming days on Twitter. I have no fucking idea, but there'll be like a place where I guess you can interact with me for now, because I don't want to make a Discord. I don't want to fucking make a Reddit or any of that shit. A Twitter will work for me, honestly. Something else I want to bring up is a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine named Tiredcast released a video on a game called Dusk, and I'm in it. I'm in the video. I play a little part in it. I do a bit of talking in there. I talk about the gameplay and some of the Easter eggs. So if you want to go check out that video, it will also be linked in the description. Great video. It's great, of course, because I'm in it and I make the video perfect. But you should definitely go and watch it. Give Tiredcast some support. He's really, really cool guy. I love his videos. The videos are great. So yeah, check him out. And if he's, you know, he's the kind of content you want to see, if you kind of like the similar kind of content that I make, please sub to his channel. Like 100% sub to his channel. He's super fucking cool. And check out that Dusk video too. That will also be linked in the description. check out Gamers Playground for supplying the footage for this video. I didn't ask the guy if I could use the footage, but I mean, it's on YouTube, it's open source. But it's also transformative. But you know, I think it's awesome that someone at least like cataloged it and put it on the internet somewhere so that people could use that content and talk about it. Because like the Red War, like Curse of Osiris and Warmind aren't in the game anymore. I don't have footage of them because the last footage I had the activate Windows watermark in the corner because I couldn't afford Windows at the time. But yeah, so I don't have any remaining footage of that. I only have footage of Forsaken and Onward. So that existing is really, really cool, and I'm really happy that does exist. So again, check out Gamers Playground. I'm probably going to be using his footage in the future for stuff like Warmind, for example. And yeah, the last person that I want to shout out in this video is a YouTuber by the name of Galaxy, who is actually supplying the outro for this video. This outro was not like commissioned by me or anything. I was just scrolling through YouTube and I found this amazing orchestral cover of Kanye West's unreleased track, Never See Me Again. So I thought it was a beautiful track, and I asked the guy, hey, can I use this in the outro for my videos? And he was more than happy to do that. And so the link is going to be in the description. It's also going to be in the pinned comment. Please, please, please check out this song and check out this guy's channel. This song is fucking amazing. It's so, so good. So yeah, please do that. But I think that's about it for me. I've been rambling for like 10 minutes. Holy shit, this video is going to be like 30 minutes long because of all this fucking rambling. God. But again, thank you all so much for the support. I had a lot to talk about, and if anyone wants to, find me on social media, just subscribe to the channel. You can find community posts every once in a while, small updates. So follow me on Twitter. Again, I'll post updates there as well. But yeah, I think that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. These videos take a long time. So like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and if you disliked it, tell me in the comments. I want to know why. I want to know what your huge discrepancy is with my video. I want to see that shit. I want to, I want to know. But that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, I know I'm rambling. I know I keep repeating myself, but truly, 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 thank you for watching. It means so much to me. And anyway, see y'all later. Bye.